welcome to I'm Not a Fan Unless I Have a Podcast. I'm John Hanford, and I'm pretty excited because I just saw earlier today that King Gizzard is going to be playing an online show for the Poland Rock Festival. So that was pretty cool. The I saw was an event on Facebook that just said, "Hey, King Gizzard's going to be playing at some point between July 30th and August 1st, and it's going to be an online show." So I'll definitely. I'm sure we'll all see the details of that as they become known. And more people talk about it. But yeah, I just saw that, and that was a little bit of good news that I thought, we can all look forward to. It'll be a free show, it looks like, that'll be online. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Hell yeah. It makes me proud to be part Polish. So yeah, anyway, we'll get right into this episode today. This is with a guy, Evan, who goes to the University of Maine. Relatively new Gizhead. He's been into them for a few years, for like a year or two. And he actually got into them through Phish. Fucking virtual background, cutting off my hair. Whatever. Anyway, this guy, he hosts a radio show that's called Step Outside Your Mind. It's on WMEB, the University of Maine radio station. And he gets to play all the psychedelic artists he wants to play. Like I mentioned, he's he's big into Phish, Grateful Dead. And it was because of Trey Anastasio that he got into King Giz. So it was kind of cool to have him be, like, I guess, my first official crossover fan. Anyway, we had a really fun conversation. We went down so many different rabbit holes and tangents, and it just flowed and flowed and flowed. I love talking with other radio people because we never shut the fuck up. Anyway, I will shut the fuck up right now, and we're going to get right into this episode because that is more fun than watching me just blather. So anyway, here's Evan. You're going to love him. Yeah, Evan, thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so what's your origin story with King Gizzard, and how did you stumble upon this podcast and everything?
Yeah, so I am a huge Phish head. I love Phish. I obviously like the Grateful Dead before. That's kind of the lineage of the jam band. But then I was getting way more into Phish, and this was probably last year. And I was reading an interview with Trey, who's the main guy from Phish. I think it was a Rolling Stone interview. And he was just talking about how much he liked King Giz, and I definitely, I don't know, it's from Spotify, the indie playlist would give me a King Giz song. I was like, oh, that's cool. But when I was Trey was oh, this is my favorite band, as of my favorite current band. I'm damn, if you're Trey Anastasio's favorite band, you probably Phish is the weirdest band ever. You gotta be saying something interesting. So I kind of I dove a little deeper, and then I work at the radio station at my college, and I have a psychedelic rock show. So King
sick.
Gizzard, yeah, it's a music show where I just play music, but I was just playing a bunch of King Gizzard, and I still do. We're not doing the shows anymore because of COVID, but
yeah.
In time there will be King Giz on WMEB.
Nice, dude. Well, yeah. So I could go into the whole radio thing, and so let's get to that in a minute. Yeah. But I think it's important that I mention, just because I think it's important that I mention on this podcast, I'm a fucking amateur because I knew people were talking about Trey Anastasio being a big fan of King Giz. I didn't know anything about Phish. I didn't know that he was related to that. He's the Phish guy. Okay. Yeah. So it makes a lot more sense now that why there is so much of a crossbreeding between fans of King Giz and Phish.
Yeah, and even like the Dead. I don't know if have you heard of Doomsticky?
Heard of them, don't,
It's
but
like
not
it's not
really.
even like a band really. I'll like show you. It's like a guy on Etsy, and he does stickers, and he does this like Phish
Oh, sick.
King Giz sticker. I don't know if you could see it. Those
Yeah,
like
yeah.
donuts are Phish, and then he has this like Dead one, which
Right.
is bears and the gators, which I thought was super cool.
That is super. Yeah, that's excellent. Because yeah, like I've seen a lot of the a lot of that stuff that's on. It's posted on the King Giz fan page on
Yeah,
Facebook.
definitely.
Yeah. So, um, but I do still feel like extremely self-conscious. I feel like one of those people on the street that gets interviewed by Jimmy Kimmel staff, being like,
Yeah,
are you
and he
familiar
just
with
says
this
the wrong
band?"
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And you're just like, saying the wrong thing, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Just like, yeah. So what do you think of the Voodoo Donuts new album? And it's like, that's a fucking donut shop in Portland. It's not a band. But so it's cool. So you're in college
Yeah,
at
I'm gonna be a senior at University of Maine, Orna.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun.
dude. That's so cool that like you're actually getting into music that you legitimately like while you're in college at a college radio station. Like I'm only speaking from experience because like I went to college at Hofstra out on Long
Mm-hmm.
Island, and they've got like an insane radio program.
Mm-hmm.
And like back then, I was just into like alternative rock and
Mm-hmm.
some classic stuff, grunge. But so like I was listening mostly, like I was hosting an alternative radio show, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I was happy to be playing like maybe a quarter of the songs that I got to play every show. And yeah, but it's cool that like, so was a psychedelic rock show your idea?
Yeah, you have to like the theme of a show like every show has to have a theme.
Yeah.
And so I like remember signing up for like a show earlier on, and I wanted to do like just like anything I want, and they're like, oh, you should like, I got rejected initially, and they're like, you need like kind of more of like a thematic thing. And I was like, damn, I really love the Dead, I love Phish, and like King Giz and all these like weird kind of like, even like King Crimson I play, just like kind
Yeah.
of like other like, and I feel like that just has such like with Giz, there's such like clear DNA between them. So yeah, I think psychedelic rock, like I know that's kind of a big like blanket of things, because like
It's a blanket, but at the same time, it seems as though if you were to just say that your show is a psychedelic rock show, like it's still going to be pretty like it's still going to be pretty specific. Like you're not going to be playing stuff that people are going to hate if they're already tuning into that show.
Yeah, exactly. And like I know King Gizzard is always described to me as like psychedelic rock, but obviously like anyone who listens to him, it's so much like it's psychedelic because they do like drugs, or like like I'm sure they've
I mean,
tripped a
like
few times, but
the delay effects.
Yeah, like that's not like the core of it. And like, yeah, dude, I remember I was like, it was a few weeks ago, I was tripping mushrooms, and I was wearing like cutoffs, and someone like, I was talking to some guy who like liked King Gizzard, and he was like, oh, Stu McKenzie wears cutoffs, and like that, I was like, dude, you like, I was like, am I like Stu? Like I was just like just tearing up, like that. I was like, that's the best thing you could have ever said to me, like during this like mushroom trip of me. He's like, yeah, you like Stu McKenzie like loves cutoffs. I'm like, oh dude, yeah, like
yeah, I mean, he loves wearing those cutoffs with his pair of Docs. Yeah, it's like,
dude, have you seen? I'm sure you're like know Amoeba Music.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you seen their "What's in My Bag" with King Giz?
Yeah, I was actually talking about that with somebody a few weeks ago. Just like for the people watching at home, we were talking about that on a past episode. Yeah, I haven't gone back and rewatched that, but I have. I fucking love those videos.
Yeah, they're dude, like so sad
like
about
with all
Amoeba,
the artists.
like rip. Yeah, and it's like since there's like obviously like 7 people, there's like you could see kind of everyone's clear cut taste, and then it's like Stu, instead of records, he grabs like a T-shirt and like some books, and I was like, that's just like, I feel like that's just Stu, like going kind of like the weirder like thing against the grain. Like I just think that's so interesting, like, and that kind of like, I'm trying to think what was the record, like Guided by Voices, which is like a lo-fi kind of like band, a lot like it was like a lot of like 12 bar stuff. You could see like DNA. There was some had I think Ambrose have like the Kinks maybe or something, like, and you could definitely hear like the Kinks and Kinks.
For
It's like,
sure.
it's crazy. And that's why I think them and Phish kind of share a lot of DNA, because it's like they kind of do everything.
Yeah.
And Phish does too. And
Well, that's cool also that Stu grabbed the book and the
yeah.
t-shirt, because like it's definitely seemed as though the I guess like the structure of King is just Stu is the idea man.
Mhm.
And like just thinking a t-shirt's cool, or like a book that
Yeah.
has a whole bunch of other shit to just like play with, like that's
Yeah.
actually, it just makes a lot of sense. And then like everybody else just has such amazing, musicianship.
Yeah. And like this, and I feel like they have their distinct like musicianship, and like you could all like, even it kind of just like interplays so interestingly, I feel
Yeah.
like. And I think, I don't know, I think King Giz is really cool too, because it's like, I feel like non-accessible. Like I remember in your like previous episode, you were kind of talking about how it's like a musician's band,
Oh yeah.
or like, and it very much is, because there's like just a huge body of work that you could just like kind of like sink your teeth into. And that's kind of like, I feel like I only want like a band. It's like the Dead or like Phish, where there's a
Yeah.
giant like thing where you could just like completely nerd out about, and there's like so much stuff that you could just learn. I think it's so interesting.
Yeah. And what, like, it's interesting for me to think about, what I meant by them being a musician's band. Cause like what's coming to me right now is like, for me as a musician, like I also am an empath. So it's
Mhm.
just like, I always am trying to get inside everybody's head all the time,
Sure.
just because like I want to
That's
understand what it's like to be them. And it's so crazy because like it's just endless, because he's like the
mhm.
uh just like all their songs are so all over the place, all over every
Yeah.
genre, and
Every genre, and like so
it's
many
super
different.
interesting.
Yeah. Are you a fan of like stand up? There's like a comics comic, and I feel like that's
Oh yeah.
kind of like this, like the similar kind of thing. It's like you're not gonna like, I don't know, I feel like if you don't have a deep appreciation for music, like you're just not gonna like King Giz, or not gonna want to bother with them, because it's like you have to like, I don't know. It's not even like you have to like think about it when you're listening, but it's like
Dude,
it's more than music. It's a whole different like thing.
no, I totally get that. Because like I am a stand-up comic as
Mhm.
well, so it's like, I'm, but yeah, like that's exactly what it is. It's, I mean, because, well, okay, not quite, because like a comics comic is just like that comic that's like so just on that other level.
Yeah, but that's
That's
King Giz. Like
yeah.
it's
Well,
like appreciating the craft almost, I feel like, of the
yeah,
thing.
it's I guess so, yeah, because it's like appreciating the craft, and like, because typically a comics comic isn't somebody that's ever really gotten a a great paid gig. Uh,
Mhm. Yeah,
you
it's not the
know,
most well-known guy. I'm doing the HBO. It's not
right,
John Mulaney, isn't a comics comic. He's a
right,
hilarious dude, but
but like Brody Stevens, for example, he he died a year and a half ago, but like he was he was like the ultimate guy. Like he
mhm,
basically just lived at the Comedy Store in LA
mhm.
and just destroyed every night that he went
Yeah, and
out.
just did work. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. I feel like obviously I don't think King Giz and stand-ups have like a lot of DNA, but I don't know. There's a certain type like of person to listen to King Giz, and I feel like when you talk to that person, you're like, oh, that he gets it or she gets it. Like
Yeah,
she
yeah.
could appreciate this. And then I also think it's very interesting about whole like, I kind of mentioned this to you before, but the like Australian psychedelic rock scene is crazy.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. I guess it's like, are Aussies just all cool? I feel like they
Yeah.
all just like surf and are hilarious and like
Yeah,
don't
because
take
like,
shit seriously.
yeah, they largely don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and I think
Like every Australian person I've met is just like
yeah.
they're just traveling, or and I mean, they're just cool, chill people. Like they take risks. There's like,
Hmm.
if you die, you die, but like
Yeah, fuck it.
we're trying to
Yeah,
live,
yeah.
and I don't know. I have a feeling it comes from just their ancestry being like all prisoners. like all
Yeah.
outcasts from England, where it's just
shipped
like
on some crazy
yeah,
island.
like it's like, all right, we're a bunch of shitheads. Wow, we live in a way better climate now. Like
let's have some fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you like the
mean,
Babe Rainbow at all? Do you listen to them?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, obviously not anywhere close to as much as I've listened to Giz or any of the Giz side projects, but yeah, like when I'm taking a road trip or something, I'll put on Babe Rainbow.
Yeah, they're like most recent record today. It was I love that band too, and I don't know that like I know they're friends. I think they're on Flightless.
Yeah.
But I don't know how like they really know each other. But I think like the Babe Rainbow is like another like quintessential, like awesome psych rock band from Australia. Courtney Barnett is really, really talented, and she's from Australia. Even like Tame Impala. Is there beef between King Giz people and Tame Impala people? Because I totally feel like there is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there is, because Tame Impala has like they've achieved all that commercial success. Yeah. And like also, I don't know if Tame Impala is on their own label.
Probably on a big. It's definitely
I think,
like Sony or something.
Yeah, so like I feel like if there is beef, there shouldn't be, because like Tame Impala is the fucking corporate slave. Like King Giz, like it sucks to be Tame Impala. Like King Giz is the freest band that there is. You know? Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, do they just record when they're not touring? Like that's like what I've been reading, that they
pretty much
anytime they're not like. And did you hear do you see the snippet yesterday?
Yeah, just like one note or like maybe two beats total.
Yeah,
like
literally.
One
and
drum.
Everyone on like Reddit, everyone on the comments are just like, "What is this?"
Yeah, well, and it's clearly microtonal.
Yeah,
even though
that's
it
totally
was
where they're gonna go,
which is hilarious. Like there was only one note that was played,
and everyone is saying microtonal.
Yeah, and like I don't know for a fact that note was a halftone, but it's but like it's not but like I just don't know. It just seems like it would be part of a microtonal song.
Sure, yeah. Just because you kind of, what is your like dream like fake King Gizzard album that they would just like do?
Oh God, I probably, I think if they really went full surf guitar, I've been, so I just like I've been feeling, like all holed up this last week. Like it's been insane, everything that's going on around us, and just like and I mean like shit, I was on acid when I what do you call it? Like when the riots in LA started. So like, and I live 2
Not
hours
the kindest
from LA.
vibe.
Yeah, well, no, I saw a ton of love and kindness there. It was just a matter of like just like, what the fuck? These people have been driven to this point, like they're just totally spent emotionally. Like I so all of a sudden, like I got it, and like ever since I've been like a way more vocal ally in the fight against racism. It's been weird, but acid's made me a better person.
As it often does.
Yeah. It's great.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, like actually, psychedelics completely took me on a totally different trajectory from where I was going. But
in a good way.
Oh my God, in the best way possible.
In the best way, yeah. It always happens the same. I feel like when people, but so is life.
But I was talking about fucking
surf guitar.
Right, surf guitar. So I was. So I made an order. I ordered 3 records yesterday. Off of I ordered them. Oh shit, we lost Evan. Come on back any day now. All right, hang on a second. We gotta let Evan reconnect.
Sorry.
No worries. We got you back. So like I made this purchase from Zia Records in Phoenix. And because like they have free shipping on records or on any order over $30, so I was just like, all right, I'll get 3 records and a t-shirt. And so I bought Gumboot, I bought Krungbin's Con Todo El Mundo, and then I bought this album of this Japanese surf guitarist, Takeshi Terauchi. Have you
That
ever heard of
sounds
this?
dope. I have not. I'm gonna write it down. How do you
Dude,
spell that?
so it's Takeshi, and then the last name Terauchi, Takashi Terauchi.
Damn, I didn't even know Japanese surf rock was a thing, and it sounds dope.
Oh, dude, it's like you can see where the inspiration for Kikagaku Moyo's sitar came from, because this guy was basically just doing all that shit on a fucking Stratocaster. Like it was.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah, so I just ordered a vinyl from him. Like he's not on Spotify or anything. Like you can check out like one or two different songs of his on YouTube, but he's virtually unknown in like I mean like definitely in our generation. And it's funny how I even found out about him. Like I was at this bar down in Palm Desert where I do a lot of stand up, and and like I ran into this guy. He was he had like a denim jacket on and with the rat's nest patch on the side, and I was like, "Nice patch, man."
What's up?
Yeah. So
you
then
immediately have to say something.
Yeah. So then like you know we go our separate ways, and then like an hour later or something, I catch him outside smoking a cigarette. And so then we just start talking Giz, and then he's just like, oh, but let me tell you about Takeshi Terauchi. And yeah, so it's cool. Like now this guy and our friends and everything, and
Wow, small world.
Yeah, and like you know, it was just the coolest thing. Like I didn't imagine, because like I don't know if I don't know if you've ever been to Southern California, but like Palm Desert is it's not typically like a creatives community. It's weird to find a Giz head there.
Okay.
And it's like a lot of people that just like to go drink and party in the desert. It's pretty reckless. So it's weird to find like other like-minded people there. But yeah, it was just wild because like he was telling me about Takashi Terauchi and Hawkwind and like and holy shit, have you gone into like a Hawkwind rabbit hole or anything?
No, I'll write it down. Hawkwind.
Yeah. So
cool.
yeah, so
is that just surf rock?
No, so Hawkwind was they're the first ever space rock band.
Damn.
Yeah, so
circa
like 1971.
Okay.
So Stu was really into them. Like if you listen to their first album, In Search of Space, there's that song Master of the Universe, and like Stu will quote that when they go into Robot Stop sometimes.
Oh, okay. Damn.
And like he'll just quote the lyrics from it, and yeah, it's really cool. But that was I think it was Lemmy's first band, like before he started Motorhead, like way before. So you're getting like acid space rock with Lemmy's fucking heavy like rocket like bass riffs.
Damn, that sounds sick.
Oh my god, it was
that sounds
nuts.
like heady, like very like cerebral.
Dude, I listened to that album on LSD, and immediately I was just like, okay, I clearly understand Nodding on Infinity now, because this is entirely the inspiration.
Just the loop, yeah.
Oh, it's like it wasn't the loop wasn't, but just like the continuous, just you know, one track into the next, and just like each track sounds like it's never gonna end. There's just some like just raw power about it that's just super cool.
Yeah, it's just like a unique way of putting out a record. Like I feel like not, you know, like bands are like, why, you know, let's have like a 3-minute song.
Yeah,
like like that's just such a, you're like literally turning it on its head. Like it's so interesting.
And it's just so funny to me because, like, you know, that's right after the hippie phase or the hippie movement and everything, and you know, like I guess Black Sabbath is just starting to become popular, and like I guess Motown and disco's coming up, and these guys just decided to start singing about space. Like it's the fucking funniest thing.
A different vibe, yeah.
I mean, completely. Just like all this shit here on Earth, like all the soul stuff. No, we're
yeah, fuck it,
way out, you know. And it's so funny. Yeah, to think about it like that, because like that's like all they're talking about is just space.
Man.
And like I'm not like I fucking got a C+ in college astronomy. like I have like I'm fascinated by space, but like I don't think I'd ever write lyrics to it because like I'd worry too much about being.
It's hard.
Yeah, I don't want to be inaccurate. But yeah, man. So you mentioned Babe Rainbow, Courtney Barnett. Are there any American psychedelic artists that you've been listening to?
What's that? I never know how to say it. Khruangbin.
Yeah. Khruangbin.
They're cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. They're totally the Outlaws. Do you know them? They're kind of like a surf rock.
Yeah, I've seen the Outlaws a couple times. I like their albums more.
Really?
Yeah, it's too bad. But
do they jam, or is it just like?
Not really. They just play the songs straight through and don't really do much on stage. It's like there's so much there. Like there's so much potential.
Yeah, I'm surprised they wouldn't.
Yeah,
because they do like instrumental, like pretty like heady kind of stuff. Like I figured they would.
Yeah, like they just don't have like they could definitely benefit from a visual artist. You know, and like I'm surprised that they haven't tried to, you know, go down that path because like they're I'm sure they're friends with a ton of artists. Like they're from LA,
creative people.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
there's like no excuse in my opinion, but so like those guys are cool.
I'm into Goose. Do you know that? Do you like jam bands? They're kind of like a pretty up and coming jam band from Connecticut. I don't know if it's psychedelic, but they jam. They do a bunch of they're like Phish or like the Dead, but I don't know. I feel like there was a resurgence of like jam bands in like the 90s, which was like Umphreys and like String Cheese, and I don't like love that kind of thing. But then I think Goose is doing something very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never heard of them. It's just Goose.
Yeah, Goose.
Nice.
They're worth checking out. They're really just like a fun band to listen to.
Yeah, I'll definitely give them a listen. Yeah. Have there been any bands that King Gizzard has introduced you to? Like aside of like outside of Australian
all
bands?
Those Aussies. I like kind of checked out a little of that Turkish. What is like the it's like not folk music, but it's
I know what you're talking about. But it's like the inspiration for Flying Microtonal Banana.
Yeah. And I always hear like of people saying like, oh, like listen to like, or like it's so Turkish. I'm like, dude, what? Like I didn't even know. Like I don't know. I remember looking at a comment from some King Giz video, and it's like, oh, these guys like sound like they're from Istanbul in the '60s, and I was like, that is like I just would not have thought like. King Giz sounds like an Istanbul group in the 60s. Like, I just would never have thought that. And then I listened to some of that. That's super interesting. That, like, Turkish. Like, I just don't even know their, like, influence. You know, it just seems so far-reaching. Like,
yeah, I mean, because it seems like they're endlessly open to
and that's
being influenced.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, I don't know, like paper mache, like it's just so interesting, man. Paper mache, I think is so, like just the stark contrast between that and like Infest the Rat's Nest, and that's like the same band and under like a 5-year span.
Yeah,
it's almost like unbelievable that they would release those two records. Like,
and also those two records, despite sounding drastically different, they feature like some of the best drumming from Mickey Cavs and Eric, although technically Eric isn't given any credit on on Paper Mache. But yeah, I mean, like, and I guess he wasn't even on Infest the Rat's Nest either. So
really?
Cavs really fucking owned it. But it's like, I mean, those albums are great. Sketches is another good one.
Dude, and I meant to ask you this. And do people talk shit about Sketches? I feel like on your podcast, I hear
on the podcast, not at all.
Not like that they're talking shit, but then like the Giz heads are like, oh, Sketches, like it's not like.
Well, you know, I've talked about this, you know, once or twice on here, but one of the most fascinating things to me about the fan page on Facebook is just how like. Back in 2018 when I first got on it, like everybody's just always just constantly talking shit about Sketches. And then
why? Dude, I like love Sketches. Yeah, dude. I think it's sick.
So the thing is, I didn't get into Sketches for a few months.
Really?
Like
I think that is one of the most like digestible of the King Giz, just because it's like psyche, kind of like jazzy, like vibey, like.
Yeah, well, you see, like now that I am into jazz and stuff, like I
Yeah.
would definitely be able to stomach it. But like my first time listening to it, never dabbled at all in jazz, and
Have you
I was
listened
like,
to
this was much, a bit much.
Headhunters by Herbie Hancock? That record?
No, like I
I
should.
think, dude, oh man, like Herbie was like like played with Miles Davis in the '60s, and
Hmm.
then he had like a big like synth kind of like electronic resurgence in the '80s.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I've definitely seen Stu where had like a Herbie Hancock Headhunters. Like that record, I think is like very similar to Sketches, just because it's like it's spacey, but it's intentional, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's what's cool about like Sketches. It's a clean album, but they kind of go on a journey,
Oh, for sure.
or like
I
a
mean,
weird journey.
honestly, Sketches is about the closest thing to an acid trip that I think you could get out of any Giz album.
That's
Like just
I would
walking
love that
around your
at the
town.
I would love a poster of Sketches and then your quote saying that,
Yeah,
because that is the best way to describe it.
yeah.
And how much do you think the Mild High Club is? That just one dude? I'm not sure. I think
It's multiple guys, but it's like the main guy from Mild High Club. He just, I think he just uses that as a moniker,
yeah, it's like
or a
Tame
pseudonym or
Impala.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you think, like, I obviously that record could not have been made without the Mild High Club, but like what influences did you like, how do you think that would have been different if he wasn't on the project, you know?
I mean, I think, this is totally just me, just my thoughts.
Speculating.
Yeah, complete speculation. Pure unbridled speculation. Like I think he probably brought in Mild High Club because like they had brought them to Gizfest,
Okay.
and I think they were just hanging out with them, and like it was just from that they decided like, yeah, maybe we should collaborate. But also I feel like as a reason why you'd want to collaborate with Mild High Club, like that album was tackling something that's really difficult. Like you're a
Sketches?
rock band. Yeah. Like you're a rock band and you're going to try and do a complete full on, like acid jazz album. Like I'm sure Giz would have done fine on their own, but I feel like bringing in that extra guy, like really, I think it helps to give it like a little more personality, maybe give it like maybe have him take it on, just a direction that King Gizzard can't really control themselves so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's, I mean, and then at the same time, it's a cool way to collaborate, So it's,
yeah. Oh yeah. That's
yeah.
what would
I
be
feel
like a dream collaboration?
Oh God, dream collaboration. I would love to see King Gizzard do something with fuck it. If they did something with Kikagaku Moyo, I think that would be sick.
That would be really sick.
It would also be feasible. But like even or honestly something like I'm a huge Iggy Pop fan. I could
totally see that.
I would love to see them do something because
or like do like a concert or something. I could totally see that.
Oh yeah, well it's interesting. Iggy Pop has been really into Tropical Fuckstorm, which is another flightless band, and it only seems like a matter of time before he discovers King Giz, because like he's been like taking all these bands under his wing, sort of like like he has a radio show of his own that he where he just plays all this new.
Is that like Sirius?
It might be. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
But he has a radio show where like he started playing Tropical Fuckstorm, and also like the Death Valley Girls, which are another American psych band. I like them a lot.
Death Valley Girls. I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're sort of garagey, but yeah. So like it seems like something that he would be willing to do. Also, just like Iggy Pop is also a really prolific artist himself. Like he's got all these different sounds, going back from like Stooges into The Idiot and Raw Power and and then like some of that synthy stuff in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. I would like to see another King Giz album that's, sort of along the vein of Murder of the Universe, where it's
Mm.
narrated, and have Iggy Pop do the narration. Like that would
That would
be
be cool.
so. I mean, because he's got one of the most powerful voices
Mm-hmm.
in the world. Like I would prefer Iggy Pop to narrate my life over Morgan Freeman.
What about David Attenborough?
Okay.
See, then you're like, oh, asking the tough questions.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. But if we're going in by continent,
Sure.
then
We could just divide it up.
Yep. Oh my god. Yeah, that would be great. But I don't know. I ultimately, like, when it comes to thinking about what King Gizzard's gonna do next, I'm just like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
Like just
I
do
don't worry
whatever.
about that. Yeah, you're fine. Like, you know what you've been doing and you're doing it correctly.
Yeah, and like, in addition, because like I'm a creative guy. Like I do a lot of podcasts, and then I also play music, and then I also do comedy. So it's like I've constantly got ideas just in my head and shit.
Mm.
And like I've wanted to like write more music and everything. And so like every time I find myself asking a question like, what would you like to see King Gizzard do? I'm just like, well, wait, maybe I should be asking myself, what would I like to see myself do? And then, hey, maybe I'll found some direction. But
I feel like in life, especially in music and anything creative, I've been like, I don't know, I draw a lot and I try to like write and stuff. And now, like, ever since listening to King Gizzard, you're like, how could I like make this a bit just different? And I feel like that is like, I don't know, the kind of Giz mindset of like, what can I do that like not everyone does, to kind of like spice it up? Because that's why, I don't know, Giz is so prolific.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's like they're taking JFK, just ask not what music can do for you, ask what you can do for the music.
Literally.
It's like that just seems to be sort of the mantra that King Giz, and I guess like a lot of those prolific artists just live by.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's a cool way to look at it, But I think we'll wrap up soon. But
Okay.
But before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you, is there anything that's been on your mind that you've been thinking about, music wise, that we haven't discussed on this podcast?
I did want to bring up, not kind of music wise, but merch. What do you think about? Because I think, like, I don't know, I'm a huge like jam band fan, and the big like lot thing, like the lot scene's a lot of like homemade kind of like t-shirts. And I was looking at like the Merch Bar website. I don't know if you know them, to get like a Giz shirt, but it's like they all do it from Australia. So I think it would be a cool kind of thing for like Giz fans to do, and like that's like Doomsticky guy to like make more like Giz shit, because I think that's like awesome. Like kind of like crowdfunded, like fan made like stuff, or like cool like art posters and like patches, stickers.
Yeah, I mean, because like there are already a lot of people just doing that stuff, and like they've got their Etsy shops, and or sometimes they don't even have an Etsy shop, and they'll
they
post
just
it in the
like,
fan page. And wait, so I forgot to ask you your timeline for being a Giz fan, because like you mentioned like last year is when you started getting into them.
Like I like kind of listened to them. I don't know, I forget, like, but like last year I like made a point to listen to them, and then like kind of like almost, I don't know, probably like the last few months I've been like, I'm in. Like,
oh yeah,
I was like, oh, like King Giz is like a cool like psych rock band that I play on my show. I don't even know what, like, I think I had like, I was doing mushrooms, and I was like, I don't know, I try to like catch like a feeling or something, and then I was like, I don't know, I just made a big playlist of like music, and I don't know, I just got to like shit, just like fine. I was like, I sound so like spacey.
No,
like
it makes
like
sense.
found me, like, like I was like, I was blind, but now I could see. Like, I was like, how did, like, this band is so like important, I feel like, and I'm like, why wasn't I like this big of a fan now? Like, I'm just like reading everything I can. Like, I was doing your podcast, like trying to like make King Giz shit. Like, I don't know. Like it just, I feel like the bug like works your way, and it's just so easy to, like, because they're so accessible. They like have a ton of albums. Like all the KEXP shit is brilliant. Like the Murlocs are sick, and they have like 3 records and a few like KEXP.
I think Murlocs have 5 records actually.
Yeah, see, and like.
And yeah, their last one that came out last year, Manic Candidate episode, is I think their best.
And then like I was like, oh, like King Gizzard is sick, and then Chunky comes out, and I'm like, wow, they're better live.
Oh,
like I didn't
even
like think about
insane
it. Like,
live.
Yeah, and I saw them. I saw like the Infesta. I saw them last summer in New Haven at College Street, and there was like the Infesta Rastas. And I'm not like a huge like metalhead, and that was a predominantly like metal show.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was kind of intimidated. I was like, oh, this is like a good show. Like these guys are cool. But that was like kind of before I was really, really into it. And then like Chunky comes out, and then like, just like, it's just such like, it's so sick. And then I listened to their other 2 live records, like live in Brussels. They're on like Bandcamp. They're not even on like Spotify. But I just thought, I don't know. I think Chunky is sick. Like it just like, it's at the same time like very soulful. Like Let Me Mend the Past, when Ambrose like is that is like that's probably my favorite song on the record. But then there's like these like the Quarantine kind of like spacey like synth jam. Like I think that it's just so interesting. And then they do like Planet B. Like it's I'm like this concert, like it's everything. It's every box it checks off. It's crazy.
Yeah. Did you manage to watch?
It was before. Okay. The biggest regret of my life is they did the limited thing, right? It's gone. It's in the ether.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be back eventually, but
it'll be back eventually. But I'm like, I was comb like internet page after internet page trying to find it, and it is not anywhere.
Yeah. I watched it. I bought the 48-hour rental, and I watched it 4 times.
Yeah. Dude, I would have been like back to back to back.
Yeah. I pulled an all-nighter watching it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, I need to take this all in because it's fucked up how they're doing us like this. And,
but it so is. Like, I feel like it's like, get it while you can. Like,
I mean, and also when cooler. And just before Infest the Rat's Nest came out, King Gizzard did something weird with their Instagram page. I don't know if you saw this, but they deleted every single post.
Really?
And
I did not see it.
It was like a week before Infest the Rat's Nest came out. They deleted every post, so as if to like, self-immolate their content. And then they posted like just a video of the Rat's Nest sculpture with Evil Star in the background. And
that's sick.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, it was such a mysterious, just spooky, real gutsy call by them to be like, hey, guess what? King Gizzard of the past is no more. Like,
yeah, and then
here's
a crazy fucking metal album.
Oh yeah,
and because that's I don't know. That's also like, as a fan, that's a awesome part of like, you don't know what they're gonna do, but you know it's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
And like, that they're just gonna keep playing together and getting better and like releasing more music and doing bigger like GizFest. Like, there's nowhere to go but up for them. And I feel just so lucky that we're on like the cut. Like, we could get in to this band like in real time. I feel so fortunate.
For sure. And the fact that forgot what I was going to say. Happens.
Yeah. Podcasting life.
Yeah, podcasting life and pothead life. Oh my God, I was just about to pack a bowl like an hour before this started. I was like, oh wait, no, I got a thing. And
no, literally, I was like, I gotta stay sharp. No, same.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like I'm already spacey enough, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, like I take like I overall have a good long-term memory. So like I do take a lion's mane mushroom capsules every day.
Wow.
Just to prevent dementia from ever setting in. But yeah, it's great for focus. Helped me get off of Adderall. But
nice.
Anyway, yeah, whatever thought it was, I think it's gone. But oh wait, I got it.
Hell yeah, that lines, man.
It always comes through in the clutch. Yeah, what I was gonna say is just like what's so cool about King is, and just like listening how they're always doing new shit. It's like they're doing just trust fall after trust fall with their fan base. Like,
and their fan base is so supportive and like they could do anything. They could sing the phone book, and we'd all just be like, oh.
But exactly. But it goes all the way back to like all the way back to like sketches, how initially people were just like, oh, this sucks. Like, what the fuck were they even like? It's cool. You're trying to do something, but it failed. It's okay. And then like, sure enough, more people listen to it. There's, oh wait, no, there's actually like a masterpiece. And,
but that's like high art. You kind of have to like sit with it. You like, I don't know. It's not an easy life being a Giz fan. I feel like there's a lot of material to wade through, and you're not gonna love all of it. That's just like, you're happy that they do it.
What's so great about King Gizzard is that like we're able to act like all these real stuck up rich art snobs in New York, but we're all broke and just snobby as fuck. Like, it's great. But it's nice because we're able to bring just that way of thinking about art and consuming it. Like really chewing on it to like get all the the notes, like an aged glass of wine or something.
Yeah. But then you get take some mushrooms at the show and go in a mosh pit and have sweat your face off and have the best night of your life, like,
for sure.
But then again, like, appreciate this like otherworldly art at the same time. It's a beautiful thing.
They're a real multi-dimensional band and enjoyable in all states of mind.
All states, yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Hey, well, Evan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, man, this was awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And so, again, can you plug your show at the with the University of Maine?
It's called Step Outside Your Mind. It's a psychedelic rock show on WMEB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine.
Cool. Do you guys stream online at all?
Yeah, we do.
Cool. So that's
check it out.
WMEB
91.9.com. You could find it.
Cool.
If you're looking.
Sweet. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for the time, and enjoy. Stay safe.
Yeah, it was good talking to you. Take it easy.
Cool. Take it easy, man.